We're getting really bad at introductions on the podcast because we just say hello all the time. Ow. I just hurt my knee. But
that's a good introduction.
If you listen to podcasts, none of them start with people saying hello.
No.
And we just get into a bad habit of it. We always say goodbye as well.
Do we?
Yeah.
All 4 podcasts I've listened to all started with just
just get into it, don't
I like the conversation as it just kind of slips into
General
conversation.
banter. What podcast do you listen to?
Don't know, can't remember.
You were so specific with I'm listening to 4 podcasts.
Oh, I meant the ones you recommended at the start.
Oh, Hello Internet.
Yes.
Some
I think
other
that
one.
was one of them.
No Such Thing as a Fish.
Yeah, I listened to a bit of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I don't know, whatever else.
I think maybe it was 2.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the special, the Serial, that's the one.
Serial, yeah. Well, Serial's different, innit? Because it's like a documentary. So, it's been a while.
It has.
It's been a long time, Craigie.
Yeah, it's been too long.
Now, what have you been up to?
I don't know. Got a new job.
Got a new job? There you go. That's good.
Travelled the world.
Yeah, you've been busy in this
I've been
intervening time. I've done nothing. I've done literally nothing in the last... I think it's been 4 weeks since we recorded.
4 weeks. It feels like longer than that.
That means we've been very busy, though. We've
Yeah.
been up to a lot.
We've all got plenty to talk about, haven't we?
Yeah, we sure have. Have we got...
Just realised we didn't really make any notes.
Yeah, we made... I was just about to say, we've made 0 notes, so we're just going to wing it. We're just going to see what happens. Have we got any follow-up?
What did we talk about last time?
I have no idea. All I remember is that I gave you homework the other week, but I feel like we shouldn't even talk about it because it was really bad homework. And I know that you didn't enjoy.
Yeah, I didn't enjoy it.
Was it Elliot Smith?
Elliot Smith, yeah.
Yeah.
I got a bit confused of his name. I know it was Elliot Smith now, but I was making up different versions of his name involving Elliot and Smith.
Yeah, so he's very depressing.
Yeah, for me, it just sounded like an acoustic Nirvana sort of.
I can get that. I can get down to clown with that.
That's what it felt like for me.
Yeah,
and I didn't enjoy. I like Nirvana, but I just didn't. It just didn't.
Whatever.
Tick the boxes for me.
We don't need to talk about that.
No, it's fine. That's enough.
Talk about other stuff. Yeah, there you go. There's your summary of your homework. It sounded like an acoustic Nirvana. He was alright. So we've got other stuff to talk about then.
Yes.
Should we kick off with something that we've listened to purely because we've not listened to a lot?
Yeah, that sounds good.
I think that you, if anything, listened to more things than I have.
More things.
Yeah. So why don't you get us started?
My exciting listening to. Well, went to Dublin in sometime at the end of February. So like 2 weeks ago.
Mm-hmm.
And we went to a pub and they had live music on, which was quite exciting. Something that they should do in England. It'd be very fun.
But what were you listening to? What kind of stuff were we talking about?
It was just a mix. It was kind of there was a lot of cliche songs in there, like Irish, and then we had like Mumford & Sons on, which is it's good for me, maybe not for you. And then got a few surprises. Like they played The Scientist, which was really cool, and they played the Green Day song. I should know this. Time of Your Life.
Oh, okay, I was going to say it's got to be one of those.
Yeah, that was really cool.
Yeah.
So it's just a mix.
That's very you, though. That's 3 songs there that are very you.
I sat there with my Heineken or Guinness or whatever it was at the time.
Better be Guinness. You went in Amsterdam.
I had a Guinness.
Do you think it tastes different in Ireland?
I don't know. I don't drink it enough to know.
You don't drink it here. Whenever I've had Guinness here, it's tasted awful. But in Ireland, it's like creamy. It's like
it was nice. I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I had a few pints of it. Not too much, but
you got wrecked. Don't lie.
It takes very little to me to get wrecked.
Yeah.
So,
have you seen the Glastonbury lineup up to now?
I know. I've Coldplay playing?
Yes. So Coldplay are one of the headliners, and I think I mentioned this a few weeks back, but it was rumoured that this is going to be Coldplay's last show at Glastonbury, because Glastonbury is very important to them. They played it like 4 times up to now. I think this is the 5th time that they played it. So they might announce their retirement, but as I mentioned last time, I think this is just going to be Chris Martin's solo project after that, and he's just going to bring out his own music because he's too big not to do anything else.
He loves music too much, doesn't he?
Yeah. The other headliner is Muse, and I mean for me, this is a nightmare lineup for me because I don't want to see either of those. I don't.
I
know you'd see Coldplay
in about 2010. It's probably the last time when they toured. Then there's the last time I would have wanted to see.
But the last 2 albums have been awful.
Yeah.
I've never really liked Muse. I just think they're a bit of a second-rate Radiohead. They're not...
I used to like them, and then...
Everyone used to like Knights of Sidonia and stuff like that. There are songs that are still meaningful, even if you don't like it. It's similar with The Killers, like Mr. Brightside, and that's it.
Not for me, but...
Yeah.
I know, it just feels like they're a bit dated now. Like, they belong in the 2010s.
What was the album that they did where it was like very dubstep? They had a song called Madness. And it was awful. Oh, it was so bad.
I have no idea.
Yeah, and ELO are playing, who I'd love to see.
That'd be cool.
But ELO are the only band there at the moment that I'd like really love to see. I tried to get tickets for them later this year, but they were like 80 quid a ticket.
Yeah.
Like, nah, it's too expensive.
I'd always wanted to see. I'd always have liked to have seen Coldplay at Glastonbury. But
yeah.
For me, it's just I just can't justify it just to go because
I wouldn't.
It's not my kind of thing. I don't know. It feels like I should experience it once, but
yeah. Well, it's different to any other festival that you go to. It is. I've been for the last 3 years now, and every time it's been different. There's similar stuff to it, like you find the places that you really like and you stick to those places. If anything, I'm a bit too much into the music, so I don't really get the chance to explore everything that it has to offer, because you could easily go to Glastonbury and not see a single band and still have an amazing time there.
Does sound like that'd be a cool way to...
Yeah. Now, I can't remember if I mentioned this last time, but the last live band that I saw was Foals. Now, I know I mentioned that I was seeing them, but I finally saw them in February. They were really good. Like, really, really, really good. Because I know we mentioned them a bit when super special guest Josh was on the podcast, because that was like his album that he picked. More on super special guest Josh later, hopefully.
If he's awake.
Yeah, if he's awake. But I saw them live. Now, I've seen Falls before. I saw them at Parklife, and they were great then, but they've really stepped up the live show now.
Yeah.
There are songs like My Number is one of the most famous songs that they do, and they play it quite early in the set. But the lighting for it is like an old 80s style neon rave. It's really good. It's like all ultraviolet and stuff like that. It's super cool. It reminded me a lot of, you know, the film Drive, where it's got that kind of...
That throws me back to when I went to see Kasabian, when they had that light show. Was incredible.
Yes,
like,
it is.
So
it is very
cool.
good. They still give people the skeleton masks, don't they? Kasabian. If you're at the front. I do like Kasabian. They're quite good. But Falls were good, and everything supported.
Oh, nice.
And they were really, really good. But me and my girlfriend got lost in that intervening time. She went to get a drink and come back and couldn't find me, but I still enjoyed everything. They were pretty good. The only other thing I think I can mention, music-wise, is the sad passing away of Viola Beach. I don't know if you've heard this news story, but there's a local band. They're from Stockport, I think, and they were on tour in Sweden, I think it is. Yeah, they were doing the Europe tour, and they were just about to embark on their UK tour, where they were supporting a band called Blossoms. Now, Blossoms are a good band. I saw them recently supporting the Libertines. They're really good. But unfortunately, while Viola Beach were on tour, their tour bus effectively crashed, and they all passed away, the whole band and the tour manager. It was very sad. But Blossoms, in tribute to them, had a full live recorded set play before each of their gigs in the tour, which I thought was quite a nice gesture. They were very good friends, and they actually cancelled part of their tour to sort of get over the passing away of them. But I figured I should mention that because it's something near and dear to me. So they've released they posthumously released an EP from them, and it shot to the top of the charts. It was number one a couple of weeks back. But just if people want a band to listen to, it's got some meaning to them, check out Viola Beach.
Should that be my homework? It
can be your homework, yeah. They're as you'd imagine them to be. So the Manchester band. Yeah. All I would say is that it's kind of a shame that they became so popular after the fact, which is very sad. But I'm glad that they're getting some recognition for the hard work that they do. I know that, for example, Liam Gallagher and the Stone Roses as well were campaigning for them to get to number one. I have an inkling that Viola Beach were one of the bands that were set to support the Stone Roses. Yeah. because the Stone Roses are they love local talent, and every time that they go on a tour, they always promote a local band. So I think that was what was going to happen, and that's why they've campaigned so hard for them to get to number 1. But yeah, if you want to check out Viola Beach, they are very good. They are a great band, but it's just sad that we won't get to hear anything more of them now.
That's true.
Yeah. Anyway, let's move on. So the next topic that we're going to talk about is what we've read. Now, weirdly, we think we both read quite a lot of stuff.
We have.
As I mentioned a few weeks back, it's one of my goals this year to read a lot more, because I used to read all the time, and I kind of fell off the wayside with it. So I've done my best to do a lot of reading. But what have you been reading, Craig?
Well, last time I mentioned that I was just about to read Catch-22.
So you did, yeah.
I've read that.
What did you think of it?
It was great. It was
yeah?
Great. Yeah, like when you kind of delve into like the old kind of books. No, it's not really that old. It's like from the 60s or something.
Yeah,
it's like
a
classic book. You usually kind of... They never usually use, I don't know, exciting as like modern literature, but I really enjoyed it.
Do you want to tell us a bit about the plot of it?
Yeah, I can do. I can't really remember the characters' names, but yeah, basically it's this infantry of like pilots, sort of.
Right.
In that, it's like towards the end of the war.
Yeah.
And they just keep having to fly out missions, and like the like general kind of keeps increasing the number of missions they have to fly. And there's this like the main character, he's like in hospital, and he's just like, yeah, I'm just gonna try and stay in hospital as long as I can, so I don't have to go and risk my life.
Yeah.
It's quite fun actually, because there's a few dodgy characters. One of them like just flying all over the place, like trading and buying like food and things. Just to, he says, I think there's like a syndicate or something like that he's talking about, and he says, "Oh, we're all part of this syndicate, and I'm just doing what that for that, so you don't have to fly missions." But the whole Catch-22 thing is around the like how you can like not plead mental illness to fly, because if you think that you are mentally ill, then it's, I don't know, it's a bit confusing, but then you still have to fly or something.
Okay. Because
it so shows that you're actually quite sane, the fact that you can establish that you have mental illness.
Okay.
And then, but you have to fly with it if you, that's why.
Because people who are insane claim that they're sane.
Yeah.
Right? So a person who is sane, who acknowledges that they've got a mental illness, is well enough to fly a plane.
Yeah.
Is that about right?
Yeah, that's the whole Catch-22.
The whole Catch-22, which is now a common vernacular, really, isn't it?
It's used all the time.
Yeah. But did you enjoy the book?
Yeah, it was great. Really, really good. Yeah.
That's good. What else did you check out?
After that, I read a few books after that. I started reading Inferno, Dante's Inferno.
Yes.
Because I wanted to read Inferno by Dan Brown, and I got halfway through it, and I was just like, I'm just going to Google what this is about.
It's a tough read, right?
I just read it, I was reading it, but it didn't make sense.
Yeah. Well, did you read any of the other parts of the Divine Comedy?
No, that's like the first book, isn't it?
Yeah.
But I know it's about like his path through hell, like the 9 realms of hell.
It is,
or something. So it kind of gets gradually. Does he start in the worst and work up? I can't remember. Because he's working his way to heaven, isn't he?
Yeah.
Through all the books. So it goes. It's quite cool. Like someone picked up some description of like the bleakness of hell, and it was quite cool. And obviously, it's like it was big for the like Christianity, because it kind of played to their advantage of hell and this image of it.
Right.
It was quite cool. And then after that, I'd read Inferno by Dan Brown.
Yeah. Now you like Dan Brown, is that right?
I loved Angels and Demons. And The Da Vinci Code.
Yeah.
The Lost Symbol was okay, but it was just similar to Inferno. It's just there's too much that doesn't need to be in it.
Yeah.
Like this is just like he's bulked up his book. There's not enough editing in it, and it makes me sad a little bit.
Well, that's the problem. It seems to be a bit of a recurring problem with writers who get really big and who release these periodic books like in a series, because we've spoken at length about George R.R. Martin and how he did something similar, and how the first book in that series was so short compared to the others. It was, and that was because he would have been an up-and-coming writer then, and editors aren't going to let him write whatever he wants to write.
Exactly.
Whereas now it's taken him, how long has it been? 4 years? 5 years?
I have no idea.
However long it's been to release the latest book in A Song of Ice and Fire. you know that when that book's going to be released, it's going to be huge, and it's going to be filled with stuff that we don't really want to read, because that's the curse of the later books in the series, is that they're so long, and there's so much stuff in them, and all we want to get up to is the part where someone else dies in the book. We don't care about the long winding paths or anything like that. So I guess Dan Brown's done something similar, where the bigger he's got, the less an editor is inclined to go, nah, I think you should take out that bit of it.
It's just it's a good story. It's just like there's just too much in it. Like too many like side paths, and it just takes away from it. But I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I give it like 3 stars.
3 out of 5.
Yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
Like a lot of books I've been reading recently are like about 3 stars.
Have you not read a really good book recently?
It's been a while. I think probably The Martian's like the last 5-star book.
Really?
Yeah.
I watched The Martian again recently. Have you still not
I've got it? I've got it on Blu-ray.
Right.
I'm going to watch it
soon.
Very soon.
I got it on Blu-ray for Valentine's Day, and I watched it a couple of weeks back, and that was the first time I'd seen it since I saw it in the cinemas, and it's such a good film. It is really good. One of the things that we'll be mentioning later on a little bit is about the Oscars, and I was surprised to see The Martian get nominated for so many Oscars, because it got nominated for Best Picture, and Matt Damon got nominated for Best Actor as well, and I was kind of a bit, does he deserve it compared to the other ones? But on a second watch of it, you can tell why it's been nominated, because it feels like a very culturally important film as well.
I'm very excited to watch it.
Yeah, it is very good, and the edits that they've made to the film are definitely ones that were worthwhile. Like, you can tell there was some patience taken into consideration when they were changing characters or changing storylines, things like that. So I really enjoyed it. Definitely, if you've not seen The Martian, or if you've not read it either, check it out. I think this is like the 3rd or 4th time we've talked about The Martian. This is like the spine of our podcast, The Martian. Shia LaBeouf and The Martian. JustCauseCast, sponsored by The Martian.
It was. Yeah, I love that book. It's great. And I'm going to watch the film, and I should listen to the audiobook. Apparently,
you really should listen to the audiobook. The audiobook is so well done. I've got a few audiobooks on the go at the moment. I think I mentioned a few weeks back that I was listening to The Road. I've sort of finished The Road now. That was good. I need to watch the film of that, because I know that's a really good film. But the audiobook that I was listening to most recently was Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy, which is narrated by Stephen Fry, which is like the perfect combination.
He narrates the film, doesn't he?
He does, yeah. So that's really good. It's probably something I'll talk about more at length at a later date, because I've not finished it yet. I'm about halfway through it, and I've got some other books that I want to talk about this week.
I've not even finished my book list.
I know. Well, that's what I'm going to say. Craig's got to finish off his. Go on, Craig.
I forgot now. You forgot. Why did
there was another book on your list.
There was a fair few. A few. After, I think I read Disclaimer after Inferno.
Wait, should we rewind a bit? Because if people haven't read any of the Dan Brown books, do you want to give a little summary of the plot? Because I'm very aware that this is something that we've become very bad at. When I've listened back to the podcasts from the past, whenever we talk about films or books or anything, we just go, it was good. And then we just don't talk about what they're about.
So, like, the Dan Brown, well, there's 4 books in the Robert Langdon series.
Is it over now? Is that the end of it?
I don't know. I'm not sure. I've not even researched into that. I'd be interested. Like, I don't know if I could be bothered reading another one though.
Are you all Dan Browned out now?
For now. But yeah, like, it's Robert Langdon is the character. He's a Harvard. Is Harvard? Something like that.
One of those universities. Who knows?
Where he's a
it's got to be Harvard, right? That's the one with the most recognition.
Like a lecturer.
Yeah.
But he's like a professor in I can't remember what the name is. Like symbols and like history. Basically.
Cryptography?
Yeah, I was going to say that.
Is that it? Might be it.
Something like that.
Yeah.
Cryptography or something. But he's like an expert in the field, like best in the world, and he's called upon all the time for like just like different problems, like because
he's like a consultant.
Yeah, he is the world's best consultant.
Yeah. Not like Sherlock, who's the world's best consulting detective.
Yeah, not like that. But yeah, in Angels and Demons, it's about the Vatican and
I've seen the film. I've seen the Da Vinci Code. Yeah. I don't think I've seen it, which is the one where the guy whips his back.
That's the
Da Vinci Code, right?
Yeah,
I've seen that one. I've not seen any of the. Well, there's only one other film, right?
Yeah. Well, Inferno's coming out in October.
Right.
This year. That's why I wanted to read it.
Okay.
Quickly.
So where's Lost Symbols then? Is that
The Lost Symbol? I don't think they're making a film.
So is that
That's the third book, yeah.
But not going to be the third film. Okay.
No.
Whatever.
But the Angels and Demons was the second film, but it's the first book, so there's no rules really.
Right.
But yeah, so he's big guy. This guy.
He's a big guy.
He's a big guy.
Nice
in the world
summary.
of cryptography.
Right.
So the first one is about the Illuminati and how they just want to like bring down the
Okay.
church basically. So they kidnapped cardinals. The what they called. And they were up for the election of the
Pope.
The Pope, because he just passed away. But there's like they're like the main candidates, and there's a word for it, but I can't remember.
You've read the book, Craig.
Yeah, it's like it's like I don't know. There's a word for it that they're like the favourites to get Pope.
Okay.
Basically.
Right.
I think it's something beginning with V or something. Maybe I'm just making that up. Anyway, so they get kidnapped, and they all get branded basically. And there's like the 4 elements: earth, wind, and fire. Is that right? The wind is not one.
No, earth, wind, fire, water. Right?
Yeah,
air, wind,
yeah,
whatever.
So they all get kind of killed.
Right.
That way, in a way that there's a church for each one, and it's the path of some path of Illuminati or something, and they have Robert Langdon kind of following this path, and he's trying to it's really, really, really good. It's like a really thrilling book.
Okay.
It's always like fast paced and chasing, and it's the same in Da Vinci Code as well, like because he's he's got loads of puzzles and codes and things to find out, because he's in the Da Vinci Code. He's trying to find the Holy Grail.
Yeah.
And then that turns out to be the bloodline of the Grail.
Yeah.
But that's another fantastic book, and Ian McKellen in that film is fantastic, just because the character plays is amazing. And then should I move on to Lost Symbol?
Do you want to skip Lost Symbol? And
Lost Symbol is basically set in Washington. That's to do with the Freemasons, and it's like the pyramid.
Yeah.
With the eye, and
isn't that Illuminati?
I don't know.
Are these the same thing?
Probably origins are quite similar.
Right.
Yeah, but it's good. It's just not as exciting.
Is Stonemasons the ones from The Simpsons?
Yes, I think so.
Okay.
So
the ones who rigged the Oscars.
Is that what they do?
Do you remember that episode?
I remember.
That's like one of my favourite Simpsons episodes.
It's cool.
I think it's the Stonemasons. It's Stonecutters. It's the Stonecutters. It's the Stonecutters. Yes. And they have a little song that they sing, and they're going, "Who rigs every Oscar night? We do." Yeah. Oh, that's a great episode. Anyway, go on. Talk about Dan Brown.
Yeah, and now Inferno, which is I don't know.
You don't know? Okay.
It's good. It's good. There's like I really forgot what happens now, but it wasn't that good.
What's like the focal point of it? Is this about like Illuminati, Freemasons?
I really forgot. It's strange. I know that it's set in like Vienna. No, that's Austria. I can't remember.
Venice.
No. Somewhere in Italy.
Vancouver.
Which is where he's from. It could be Florence. I might be making
Florence.
I really can't remember. I'm struggling. It's been a while.
Is this a 2-star book then, Craig?
Yeah, it could be.
It doesn't sound like it's a very memorable book.
It's just like it's just another puzzle basically.
Right.
And there's like a Dante's Death Mask, which was quite a cool part of the book.
So this is why you wanted to read Dante's Inferno.
Yeah.
Okay.
But the guy I know I've remembered.
Here we go.
I can't
JustCauseCast quality content.
Yes. Anyway, so this guy he's worried, or he's like concerned about the population increase and how.
Oh, okay.
Basically, how we've gone from the 1800s where the population was less than 1 billion or something around 1 billion, and now it's seven nearing on 8 billion.
Yeah.
And like the exponential increase from then to then is huge, and his maths. He's a genius, this guy.
Right.
Thinks that the population is going to increase by too much for us to sustain life on this planet.
Which is true.
It's very true. So, he basically wants to he wants to make a plague, sorry.
Okay.
So he's like a scientist trying to create this virus.
Yeah.
And basically, Langdon's trying to stop him, but it just unravels from like throughout the book. This plague thing, and
is it a plague that will affect everyone, or will it only affect?
I know it's like a genetic thing,
right?
It's modified, so obviously not going to kill everyone, obviously, but I think they want to reduce the population to like 4 billion.
Okay.
So that because I think he worked out that 4 billion is like the magic number. Yeah, and there's a lot of chasing. I just can't remember the details of where he was chasing to, but that is the gist of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
We got there in the end.
We got there.
Or I got there.
Get there. But even though you got there, there are more books to talk about. What's your next book, Craig?
They are. What was? Forgot now.
You forgot.
Disclaimer. There we go. So this is a very interesting book. It got to about 2/3 of the way through, and I was like, this could have been a lot shorter.
Right.
This could have been like a short story. But then when I read the end, I was like, yeah, it makes sense.
Fair enough. Okay.
So this it's like,
who's this by?
I'm
putting you on the spot here.
I really can't.
Should we Google it?
I can Google it.
Should we find out? Disclaimer. Yet again, JustCauseCast.
It's proved. It's by Renee Knight. I just remembered.
Google.
I've not looked at my phone. I've just remembered.
I've not looked at my phone.
Renee Knight.
If this was a video podcast, Craig, you would be made out to be a liar.
Liar.
Why don't you tell us what this app is, by the way? Because I'm very interested in it.
It's called Readable. Goodreads. Sorry.
Goodreads.
Something else. So if you go on Goodreads, you can add your friends. It's very exciting.
I'm going to add you.
Yeah, and you just basically you can set yourself reading challenges. How many books you want to read? So I set myself one at the start of the year.
How many do you want to read then?
It's a bit ambitious of 50 books, considering but I've read 14.
That's 50 books is a book a week.
Yeah.
And how far are we? You've read 14. How far are we into?
I have no idea.
The year.
What week we're on.
We can't be that far. January's 4 weeks. We can say 4 weeks for each month.
Well, so I'm probably ahead.
You might be a little bit ahead there.
And I've got 2 weeks to spare.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I've read Disclaimer. Now, Disclaimer is.
Can you put little reviews on that as well?
Yeah, you can. I just put my star rating. You can add a review, and then you just add it. You can keep a record of books you've read if you don't have a Kindle. So yeah, it's quite. I like it. I enjoy it.
I like the concept of that. That's good.
Yeah, and it just looks like it's like a digital like bookshelf sort of thing. Yeah, it's really cool.
Go on.
So yeah, add me on Goodreads.
Have you got a username that people can add?
Just search Craig.
Just search Craig?
Search Craig.
Is that how far up you are? If you just search Craig, you'll find it.
I don't know. I think it might link to your Facebook or something.
Right.
I think that's how it works. I'm not sure. So, yeah. Disclaimer. It's a book.
Are you going to give us a disclaimer now?
Okay. So, basically, at the start of the book, it has... Do you know when you give a disclaimer, this book is not based on anyone?
Right.
Or, like...
Yeah.
Any real events.
Yeah.
It's just coincidence, but it starts with that, but it's crossed out on the front page. So it's like it is based.
So it's been like redacted.
Yeah. So, this it's two kind of stories in one. It kind of mingles up. I don't know what the word is. Intertwines.
Okay.
So yeah. There's a English teacher and his wife basically, and they. This English teacher gets. I'm just gonna start from the end.
Start from the end and work your way back.
Yeah, it makes it easier.
Is this spoilers? Should we say spoiler warning if you want to read disclaimer?
I can't really describe the story without giving the spoilers.
Okay,
but I don't know.
Well, if you're listening at home and you want to read disclaimer, pause the podcast now, go and read it, and then come back to it, and Craig will give you a little summary.
That's a good idea.
Which is stupid because you're going to give the summary of it after they've read it.
I don't have to. No, I won't give spoilers.
Okay.
I'm just gonna have to try and work out. So there's this married couple,
right?
And their son dies, but this isn't a spoiler really.
Okay.
But they think that the way their son has died is due to someone else's fault.
Okay.
This woman's fault. Now this woman has a husband and a child, and they're married. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's kind of that's then the present, and then they flip back when the son's died, because this is like 20 years ago or something like that.
Sure.
That's right. It's 20 years.
Good memory.
So their son's died, but because they think it's this woman's fault, they write a book about this woman.
Okay.
So it's like a bit stalkerish in the way that they've wrote this book, because it's accurate to the way she's lived her life.
Okay.
And she's reading this book has just appeared to her, like she doesn't know how, she hasn't bought it or like
the Babadook.
Yeah, exactly that.
It just appears.
Yeah, so she starts reading it and she just gets freaked out because it's about her, everything, and so yeah, and then her husband discovers this book,
right?
And the problem that she had with their son, her husband isn't happy with that, so it just causes a bit of problems.
Just causes
a bit of problems. And then it unravels from there. I don't really want to give too much more away.
Okay.
But
now I noticed you gave it 3 stars on your Goodreads.
I gave it 3 stars, yeah. Now,
is there a reason for that?
I think so, because like I said, when I got 2/3 of the way through, I thought, this could have been summed up shorter, a short story. Right. Like the Gone Girl, not Gone Girl, Gillian Flynn. Sorry.
Yeah.
Her short story. It was quite similar, not too similar, but.
Now you said that was good. The short story that Gillian Flynn. What was it called again? I can't remember. Should we have a look?
The something girl, was it?
Just JustCauseCast. Gillian Flynn. She's bringing out. There's a film coming out soon that she has written, but I can't remember the name of. No, I don't think so.
The Grown Up.
The Grown Up. That's the one. Yeah. Now that was a well done short story.
Yeah, it was great. It was like 60 pages or something.
Right.
It was just. Is it Dark Places you're talking about, or Sharp Objects? I
think it's Sharp Objects, which is.
I've heard Dark Places is terrible as a film.
The film, is meant to be really bad. To be fair, Dark Places seems like a bit of a cash grab after the success of Gone Girl, because it came out quite soon after it. Yeah, the film.
Because Gone Girl's the 3rd book, isn't it?
Yes. But Sharp Objects is going to be a TV movie that's out later this year. But there's no one really attached to it yet, aside from Amy Adams, who's going to be the lead.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
I don't remember those books that well, but I remember them. I remember guessing the end to the books.
Right.
Just because I'd read Gone Girl and they're very similar.
Yeah, tonally, right.
So yeah, disclaimer. It's
alright.
Yeah.
Now it's interesting that you mention short stories, because the books that I want to talk about today are all short stories. Because that's what I've been focusing on as a way to get back into reading.
Yeah.
If you understand me. So the first one that I want to talk about is a short story called The Jaunt by Stephen King.
Nice.
Now, I just read the short story on its own. I think it's part of one of his wider collections. Quite an old short story, but the interesting thing about The Jaunt is that it's one of the only science fiction stories that Stephen King has wrote. Now, the basic plot of The Jaunt. Now, really, I'm just going to explain what happened. I'm not like Craig. I'm going to spoil The Jaunt. So if you're going to read The Jaunt, go away and read it. 'Cause it's really short. It's like 4 pages long or something. It's tiny. But the basic plot of the short story is that in the future, people can teleport.
Yeah.
And teleporting is called jaunting. That's why it's called The Jaunt. So this family is about to go on one of their first jaunts, and the kids are asking what it's like, how it works, things like that. So the dad in it is explaining basically the history of the jaunt.
Yeah.
So it started off whenever it did. They used rats at first to teleport, so they teleported these rats. And he found that whenever these rats teleported, when they came out the other side, they always died unless they were put to sleep.
Yeah.
So the first test for a human subject was a prisoner. He was on death row.
Yeah.
And he basically said, if you do this and it works, you're free to go, that kind of thing.
Yeah.
But he was jaunted and he came out the other side and he was killed. If I remember correctly, I might be saying some of this wrong, but just to get to the point. So it turns out that when you jaunt, you need to be put under a coma in order to come out the other side alive.
Yeah.
And the dad is explaining how over the course of history there have been 6 or 7 people who've come out the other side and haven't been put to sleep, and they've all ended up either dead or just totally insane.
Yeah.
And he also explains this story of how there is this legal case where a husband and wife have a huge argument, and the husband basically pushes the wife into the jaunt and closes off the other side of the teleporter. So he's been accused of murder, even though technically she's still alive. She's just in limbo, effectively. Yeah. So anyway, the story progresses, and it comes time for them to take their first jaunt, and everyone goes through it, and the father is the last one to go through the teleporter, and he comes out the other side and just hears screaming and like crying and everything, and he looks around, and it turns out that his son had gone through the teleporter with his eyes open, and the kid is just babbling and laughing. His hair has gone like a bright white colour, and all he's saying over and over again is, "It's longer than you think, Dad. It's longer than you think in there." So the basic summary of the plot is that when you jaunt, your consciousness is awake the whole time, and it feels like an eternity when you're in there. So if you're awake for that time, when you come out the other side, you've lived for 1,000 years, and you're just internally running through all your thoughts, and that's what makes you insane.
That's cool.
Yeah, so it was really good. I really enjoyed it. Obviously, Stephen King is really well written, but I just thought it was a really interesting plot. And I have now started to write my own short story, which is based on that. Oh. Now, I'm really annoyed because there's a YouTuber that I watch who's just brought out a video, which is my short story.
Yeah.
And I'm so annoyed about it. So if anyone watches CGP Grey, he's just brought out a new video. He's the guy who hosts Hello Internet.
Uh-huh.
He's just brought out a video about teleporters and transporters. So if you watch his video, that's basically what my short story is going to be about.
Yeah.
Which is effectively a philosophical problem where, you know, in Star Trek, when you get beamed down, effectively what happens is your particles are completely destroyed and then reassembled on the planet.
Yeah.
So the question philosophically is whether you are the same person on the planet as you were when you were teleported, considering you're made out of the atoms of the planet as opposed to the atoms that you were made out of on the ship. So my short story is based on that. And basically things are going to go wrong, and a guy's going to come out the other side who isn't the guy who went into the teleporter. So yeah, anyway, that's why I wanted to mention that. The first 2 chapters of my short story are up on my website, so if you want to read it, feel free. But the next short story is one called I Have No Mouth, Yet I Must Scream. It sounds kind of spooky.
Sounds cool.
Now this is again a science fiction-y short story. Now really I'm not going to, unlike Stephen King's one, I'm not going to talk that much about this short story, but the plot of it is basically we're in the future.
Yeah.
Supercomputers have taken over the world, and these supercomputers hate humanity and have subjected everyone to like unending torture, and there are only 4 people left on the planet now, and this supercomputer has made it such that the people alive on the planet can live forever and withstand like limitless amounts of pain. So he's just putting them through their paces.
Yeah.
And the plot goes on, a couple of these people get killed, and there's one guy left, and it's his fight with the computer. But it's really good. I'd recommend you read it. You can find it on YouTube, and someone narrates it. So I'd check that out, because that's how I read it. I listened to it, and I really enjoyed it. What do you think about science fiction, Craig?
I like science fiction.
Yeah?
Just to mention that book we've not mentioned a lot. The Martian's really good.
Yeah.
I think that's the most science fiction I've read.
That's funny.
Are you talking about Stephen King?
Yeah.
I have Cell to read. I've had it for a while.
Yes, I've got Cell. Yeah. It's on my bookshelf.
And I started. I wanted to listen to the audiobook,
right?
And I could only find part of it,
right,
on YouTube or something. So, but it sounded really cool, so I might listen to the audiobook.
Yeah, it's about how cell phones turn people into zombies, right?
But I might just read it.
Yeah.
Eventually.
Have you got the books?
I've got it for me. I've got the book. But yeah,
I want to read The Dark Tower.
Yeah,
which I know is huge. Now I started reading The Gunslinger. I've got that on my Kindle, and I've really enjoyed what I've read up to that. It's quite confusing.
Yeah.
I feel like I really need to dive into it. I've done it a bit, where you read it a little bit and then come back to it. Yeah. And I think it's one that you really need to sit through, because the first book is not that long. It's quite a short one.
Yeah.
But they've just announced that it's being turned into a film.
Yeah, I saw that.
Starring Idris Elba and Matthew McConaughey as the 2 leads.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Is it? He's like a sci-fi but western sort of.
It's like a science fiction, horror, western. It basically also encapsulates the rest of Stephen King's works.
Yeah,
so like
I like how it's the same universe.
Yeah, the clown from it is in it, and I think the Shining Hotel's in it, something like that.
I
and
really
know
like
that
it.
Stephen King's in it as well.
Really?
He's in it at some point. So I'm
really like it
interested
when
in it.
authors have a universe.
It's great.
Yeah. Even like subtly, like Nick Hornby.
Oh yeah.
His, two of his books. One of his books is about like a record shop.
Yeah. Is that High Fidelity?
High Fidelity, yeah. But that record shop is in one of his other books, and I just absolutely love it.
Yeah.
It just made me smile.
Yeah.
And he's a big Arsenal fan as well. So in like Fever Pitch, he's always talking about Arsenal. So he's like, a lot of his books are set in like North London, and it's great. Like he's good. I've got another one of his books to read. So
you like Nick Hornby, don't you?
I
really wouldn't mind. See, I've never read any Nick Hornby books, and I've not seen many of the films. I know that High Fidelity is meant to be a really good film.
I don't think I've watched.
John Cusack and Jack Black.
I've not seen it. I've seen Fever Pitch, which is like
and About
terribly
Boy.
British.
About Boy's him, right?
About a Boy is terribly British as well.
It is.
A Long Way Down is another book by him,
right?
And that is such a good film.
Really? Who's in
that? Pierce Brosnan's in it.
Right.
I don't know what's his Aaron Paul.
Oh, Jesse.
Yeah, I was going to say Jesse Pinkman's in it.
Yeah.
And two other, I can't remember. There's two or three others in it, but it's such a great book.
Okay.
A great film, a great book. Yeah, definitely recommend that.
There we go. Well, I'm on to my last book now, which is, I never know how to pronounce his name, Chuck Palahniuk, the guy who wrote Fight Club. Yeah. He has a book. I don't know how old this book is, but it's called Haunted. And it's a series of short stories that are all interconnected. The plot of the story is basically that a load of creative people, artists and writers and screenwriters, stuff like that, have all agreed to live in a house for 3 months, I think it is, with no contact with the outside world. Food will be provided, and you just need to work on your masterpiece.
Sounds exciting.
Yeah. So they're all given weird names, like the Duke of Vandals and Comrade Snarky and Saint Godfrey. What
name would you like to be given?
I don't know. Well, all of the names are about the thing that they do. So, like, there's a guy called Agent Tattletale, and he records what everyone's saying.
Yeah.
And Saint Godfrey always eats things. Yeah. Comrade Snarky always has snide comments about people. But there's the overarching story, which is about all of those, and then there's short stories, which are about each of the characters.
Yeah.
Now, the first short story nearly made me throw up.
Ooh.
It's one of the most grotesque things that I've ever read. It's available on his website. So if you go to Chuck Palahniuk's website and look for a story called Guts, it's about Saint Godfrey, the guy who's always eating.
Yeah.
It is by far one of the worst things that I have read in my life. It's horrible. It's horrible.
Oh.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much about it, but he has an accident and it's explained in graphic detail.
Doesn't sound good.
Now, in typical Chuck, if you've read any of his other books, have you read any of...
I've read Fight Club.
You read Fight Club? Well, he's got a few other stories. There's Invisible Monsters. There's Choke. Have you read Choke?
No, I've only read.
Choke was made into a film as well, and that's about a guy who, I think he gets off on, like autoerotic asphyxiation. Yeah. It's that kind of thing. Yeah, if that's your kind of thing, read Guts, because it's awful. The rest of the short stories, I've not found another one in the book yet that is quite as good as Guts. Because Guts is very well written, even though it's awful.
Yeah.
But the rest of them are quite... They're all strange, and they all explain something about the character within the book, but they're not as gripping. And I can see why he put that story as the first story, because, it's awful. Anyway, that's what I've been reading. Haunted, I've really enjoyed. I'm about halfway through that now. So if you want something to check out that's quite an easy read, easy, not that easy of a read, then check that out.
Yeah.
next time we record a podcast, I'll probably talk about Hitchhiker's Guide and a book that I'm reading at the moment called The Rats by James Herbert.
I've heard, yeah. It's quite good. Is it a trilogy? Is it part of a trilogy?
I don't know if it's part of a trilogy. I know that James Herbert is a very prolific writer, and there are 2 other stories that he's wrote that are also about rats, even though they're not part of the same story. So I know that he's wrote loads of stuff. There's a story that he's wrote that my uncle was telling me about, which is about a guy who doesn't know whether he's a dog or not. Which sounds like the strangest thing. I can't remember what it's called, but I might check that one out afterwards because it sounds quite good. But yeah, that's what I've been reading.
Yeah, I've read other books, but I might save them for
Should we save some?
Because I think
we've got a lot to talk about.
We've overdosed on books.
Yeah, we've done well.
A thing you can do.
It's quite impressive that we've gone from having books as a tiny segment in it to being one of the most important ones. I like that.
Yeah, me too.
Anyway, let's move on to our third and final segment, which is what we've been watching.
Yeah.
Now, I kind of want to kick this off with what we're watching right now.
Oh yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Oh, he's gone for a break. He
might have gone for a break. I don't know if this is a break, but our friend, super special guest Josh, is doing a 24-hour charity live stream of The Division, which is the new Tom Clancy game.
Yes.
Now, he might be on a break. What we were planning on doing was phoning super special guest Josh up. So if he's not on a break, we'll give him a ring. We'll chat.
Should we talk a bit about why he's doing this?
Yeah, let's. Why don't you go ahead and do that?
He's here.
Oh, he's there.
He's not on a break. He doesn't take breaks.
We're gonna message him and just say, "Can we phone you?"
So
do you want to talk about?
So super special guest Josh.
Yes.
Is doing this charity stream because sadly last year his granddad passed away from cancer. And he's raising money for Macmillan Cancer.
We're just gonna phone him. I don't want his permission.
Hello,
Josh.
Hello.
We're currently watching you.
You are live on JustCauseCast.
Really?
Yes.
I see.
How are you doing today? You all right?
I'm all right. Yeah, I'm fine, thanks.
What are you up to?
I'm doing a 24-hour live stream.
You are doing a 24-hour live stream. We've just spoke a little bit about this. Now, our podcast isn't going to be live today, but will your Just Giving page be available later this week?
No, it's only open until tomorrow.
Oh, no! Well, anyway, we'll give you some free publicity. If I can get the podcast up today, hopefully you can get a few more watchers.
That'll do.
What are you playing?
Playing The Division.
How is it?
It's very, very good,
yeah.
It's better than the beta, which was pretty much the finished game, but it's better than that, so...
Nice. Craig's here as well.
Yeah, hi, Craig.
He'd have guessed that from me calling him.
Yeah.
Hello.
You're very spoken.
Pardon?
It's his phone as well.
I know, exactly. No, James just stole my phone. I'm not actually here.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Right. Well, yeah, I'm enjoying it, and it's going well. I'm probably about 4 hours in.
Yeah. And you're doing it for the whole 24 hours, right?
Yeah, straight for 24 hours.
Are you just going to play this one game?
I am going to play this one game, yeah.
How much content is in this game for it to be 24 hours long?
A lot of content. It's probably got a good week left to go until I finish it.
Really? Wow.
Well, yeah. Well, I don't know, it's long term, isn't it? Because you always got the multiplayer aspect, so...
that's good.
You know,
keep you busy.
How long you're interested in it for.
Yeah. Well, is it worth getting? Does it have Josh's seal of approval?
It does have Josh's seal of approval. I want a little soundbite with that, please.
I can't promise that.
I've not even got mine yet.
Yeah, we've not even got one for Craig. He's priority.
We've not had to use it today, though.
No, well, nothing's had his seal of approval yet.
Oh, well, yeah, I guess my seal of approval, I recommend that you buy it if you're interested.
Okay. Did you enjoy being part of JustCauseCast?
I did, yeah. I've always enjoyed being part of JustCauseCast.
Oh, are you going to come back again and be a super special guest?
If I'm invited...
You're always invited.
Exactly. Perfect.
Alright, Joe, we'll let you get back to it, because I can tell you are busy climbing on top of cars.
Yeah, I am. I'm currently climbing on top of cars.
Right.
Waiting for the tick to rack up.
We'll see you later. Bye, Josh.
Bye.
Okay, that was super special guest Josh.
He sounds very tired already.
He does. He's only 4 hours into it, and he's already exhausted. All I'll say is that if this podcast is up in time, then please head to justgiving.com/JoshPreston22 and donate some money to him. Okay, let's talk about the films we've seen.
The films.
Yeah, what have you seen, mate?
So I was very eager to talk about The Hateful Eight, but it's been a while since I've watched it.
Yes. Now, I've seen The Hateful Eight as well. I've tried my best to see as many of the Oscar-nominated films as I could see before the Oscars. Now, I got about halfway through it.
Yeah.
But The Hateful Eight was one of the ones that I checked out.
Yes.
What did you think about it?
I thought it was great.
I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. I feel like I'd been to the cinema quite a few times, but it's the first time I've come out of the cinema in a long time. Absolutely thriving and loving the film.
Yeah.
Like, a film I just watched. Like Star Wars came out, good film.
Yeah.
Well, there's whatever's come out I watched, I can't remember. But I loved it. I'm not a massive Tarantino fan.
Yeah.
I wasn't a massive fan of Django.
Yeah.
I thought it was good, but I didn't see the bigness of it. But this film was I just loved it.
To me, this film reminded me of the first 15 minutes of Inglourious.
Yeah.
But for a whole film.
Yeah.
So it always has that tenseness to it. Now, to sum up the plot, and there's not, as with all Tarantino films, there's not actually that much plot to the film.
No.
It's a couple of bounty hunters who are staying somewhere for the night, effectively, and things...
Just escorting a...
Yeah, they're escorting a
wanted.
Bounty, a wanted criminal to the destination. And things start to go wrong.
Yes.
And that's really the best we can summarise the plot, because, like Tarantino usually does, the plot is about the dialogue.
Yes.
It's all about the dialogue.
It really
and
is.
The dialogue in this is first class.
Yeah. I would struggle to sit there for 3 hours and watch a very action-packed movie.
Yeah, you'd get exhausted by it. But this film keeps you thinking, it keeps you guessing, and it keeps you entertained.
Yeah.
Samuel L. Jackson, in particular, is amazing in
really
this. Is. There's a monologue that Samuel L. Jackson gives to I can't remember what the character's called, but the guy who's always sat on the chair.
Yeah.
About his... Yeah, we won't get into that.
The old general guy.
Yes, the old general guy. He's basically saying that he did things to his son.
Yes.
Son?
Yeah.
Yeah, you know the better
That's amazing. Even the first shot of the film.
Yeah.
It's so slow and it lasts for ages, and I just don't care.
Yeah.
I'm sat there and I'm just like, wow, because it's just I don't know why. I don't know how he does it, but it was just incredible. It was just like a shot of a statue and the snow. Yeah. And I just could have sat there for 3 hours watching that scene.
Yeah. I loved it. I loved The Hateful Eight. I was surprised it wasn't nominated for...
Was it not?
I expected it to
won an
nominated.
Oscar for something, I'm not sure what.
Yeah, well, Ennio Morricone won the Oscar for Best Original Score. But I was expecting it to be nominated for Best Screenplay, which it wasn't. And a lot of people were quite surprised about that.
Yeah.
But, yeah, The Hateful Eight, I loved. Thought it was... You saw it in the cinemas.
I did.
Did you see it in the Panavision? Because it was released in a special format.
Possibly.
Did you see it at Odeon?
Yes.
Then you didn't see it in Panavision.
Okay.
It was at Cineworld.
Cineworld.
Yeah.
Well, we can talk about Cineworld in a second, because I was quite excited about something that happened at Cineworld recently.
Okay.
But we'll finish this and then talk about that. But yeah, The Hateful Eight, I felt like every emotion that they felt. They went out in the cold and I felt absolutely freezing.
It makes you feel so... Yeah. But then, who mentioned this?
Was it me?
Was it you who
Were you
said...
laughing at me?
Yes. So this was one of the funniest things that Craig has ever said to me.
Really?
Go on, Craig.
So, in the film, they come out of the cold and they're in this, what's it called? The room that they stay in at.
It's...
the rest home or something.
Yeah, but it's like a menagerie, but that's not the word for it. It sells lots of things. It sells sweets and all that kind of stuff. It's like a bazaar type of thing.
Yeah.
But yeah,
it's cool.
The place that they stop at.
So they come in and then make a pot of coffee.
Yeah.
But he drinks it at first and he spits it out because he's disgusted by it, so he makes his own coffee. Which turns out to be a really
It's an
key
important
point,
point.
It
Is an important point.
Anyway, they come from the cold and they make this pot of coffee and it just warmed me up when they drank it and just felt so warm and I could feel the heat off it. It was really strange.
What you said,
but then I said it reminded me of the Polar Express.
Yeah,
where he has like there's 2 points in the Polar Express. It reminds me of. It's the bit where they have hot chocolate at the start, and the bit where he's on top of the train with his cup like pot of coffee.
Craig just said he really likes it when films have hot things in them.
Is that what I said?
Yeah,
but that's what I meant.
Yeah,
but yeah, it just warmed me up, and I just loved that. It's just so basic, but so effective.
Costume as well. Costume's really good in it.
Just everything.
Yeah. Well, hit me with your Cineworld story, Craig.
My Cineworld story. So Cineworld decided to do a super special Saturday. Where
super special guest
It was, yeah. Where they'd put 4 films on in IMAX.
Okay.
And run them through the day.
Yeah. I heard about this.
Yeah, and
yes, because it was Iron Man was one of them. Was it? Was an event? Was a Marvel film?
There wasn't a Marvel film one, but
Jurassic World was one of them,
yes,
right? Yeah.
They did give me a feedback form, and I did recommend they put Marvel films.
Yeah.
Anyway, yes,
they were really cheap, weren't they?
It was like £3 a ticket. So yeah. So it's cheap, like more than half, a third of the price these days for the cinema, and in IMAX as well.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really wanted to go see Martian in IMAX. That was the other one of the films.
Martian.
And I left it too late and it sold out.
Right.
But luckily I got a ticket to see Gravity.
Now that's a good film.
Now I'd watched Gravity, but I didn't watch it properly. Just at home on my TV, and I enjoyed the film, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to go and watch it in IMAX because I feel like it deserves to be watched. A lot of films deserve to be watched in IMAX, and that is definitely one of them. So yeah, I went, and it was incredible. Yeah. It was like watching a new film that I hadn't seen, and I love IMAX. I've seen plenty of films in IMAX, but it was different. It felt like I felt every single emotion that I should feel for that film, and I was just engrossed in it.
Because that film, amazing. For a lot of people, made them feel it's like Jaws, right? It's like you get lost in the film,
you really do.
And it's only scary, I think, when you experience it in that way.
Yeah.
So I think seeing it in IMAX is something that people they owe it to themselves to watch it, particularly if they dismiss the film at first. And the long shots, the long takes in it, are so engrossing. Yeah, I like Gravity. I think it's a very good film.
There was a similar Interstellar, just to bring that up. It's very similar, but the shots in space that are just silent.
Yeah.
They're just amazing.
Well, silence is one of the most important things in films, I think, particularly horror films. Silent works very well, but it can work in films like that too, where like Interstellar, they're the poignant moments are the ones that are silent.
So yeah, I think it was like the first one they've done.
Right.
The film festival. That's what it was.
What was the other film?
It was The Martian, Jurassic World, Gravity, and I think it was Star Wars.
Really?
But I'm not sure because that was the other film that was on.
Right.
On the list, but I can't remember if that's actually what it was.
Right.
Deadpool was on that day as well.
Okay.
It was like a normal film, but I think it was. I don't know, but yeah, I got feedback form to recommend other films.
Yes.
And I was like, just big action films, basically.
Yeah.
Or any film that I'd go and see any other film that they put on, really.
Yeah, well, I've seen a bunch of films in IMAX, but I've not seen enough films in IMAX.
There's a lot of films that you just need to see in IMAX.
Particularly like the big Marvel films, stuff like that. Yeah, but have you seen any other films that you want to talk about? Or?
I went to watch Concussion.
Okay, yes, I remember you mentioned that.
It's basically an NFL film,
which Craig is very into anyway.
Yes, I am big into NFL, and starring Will Smith, and yeah, I'm into Will Smith as well. So
Will Smith is your favourite
combination.
Is he still your favourite actor?
He brought himself back a lot in this film, right? Because obviously he's done After Earth. He did his last film that was.
Did you see After Earth?
I've not watched it.
So I've not seen After Earth, but I watched a review of it. I'm gonna just put my computer on mute because it keeps making sounds. Anyway, yes, I've not seen After Earth, but I saw an in-depth review of it, which was about an hour long. It was nearly as long as the film itself. But yeah, it is awful.
Yeah, I refuse to watch it. I hate M. Night Shyamalan with.
Have you seen The Visit?
The Visit?
Yeah.
No, I've not seen The Visit.
The Visit. It was his most recent film, and it was actually really, really good.
Was it?
Yeah.
I just refuse to watch his films, but maybe I'll give that a go. But I liked The Village.
Yeah.
And Signs, but I couldn't watch them again.
Yeah.
They
What
have no
about Sixth
rewatch
Sense?
value. No, it's rubbish.
What about Unbreakable?
No, I don't like it.
You know,
I really don't like it. Even though Samuel Jackson's in it.
Yeah.
I just really didn't enjoy it. What's his other one? The Happening.
Well, that's awful.
Yeah.
What? No. Oh man, Mark Wahlberg in that is something special. What a good film. Well, not a good film, but yeah, I love awful films, and that's one of my favourite awful films. Yeah, I mean, I'd check out The Visit. It's quite a good film, and it's not like his other films. Yeah. I enjoyed it. I thought it was quite scary. It was well paced.
Yeah,
yeah. It's basically about two kids who get sent to live with their grandparents for a summer, and the grandparents start being weird.
Okay.
Yeah. It's good though. If you get the chance to check it out, it's only a short film. It's like an hour and a half long, but I enjoyed it.
I might give that a go. Anyway, Concussion.
Yeah.
Basically, Will Smith plays a Nigerian doctor who's probably the most intelligent man. Like,
yeah. Now there were complaints about his accent. Speaking about Nigerian,
his accent was iffy. It wasn't
right.
It was okay. It wasn't the best, but he isn't Nigerian, to be fair. Like, I don't know. He should have acted a bit better, but he was still terrific. Like, put his accent aside, he's back to his best. Like, £7 and Pursuit of Happiness. I meant to say Pursuit of Happiness first and got confused. Yeah. Those two films, he's just that's his acting ability shown for me, and it was very similar to that. His emotions were just great. And anyway, yeah, he plays like a doctor, and he's investigating this San Francisco player who'd gone insane. San Francisco player, anyway. He'd gone insane and shot himself, basically. Or he'd killed himself, basically. So he decided to investigate why, because there was no. He's a pathologist. This Will Smith's character,
right?
So he wanted to investigate why he died, and he couldn't find any reason to why he died. So he had to dissect his brain, but Will Smith's character had to pay for this process to fix his brain in slides and cut it up and things,
right?
And to look at it, and he'd found the cells in his brain had just got completely damaged.
Yeah,
and it explained everything. But obviously, it's only one case, and then this happened again with another player in the NFL.
Right.
And it kept happening. I think it happened 3 or 4 times, and then he had proof, and now he was kind of up against the NFL, saying that it's not safe. This head collisions and things like that, and it was a lot of montages of tackles, and it was pretty hard to watch some of them. Like, this guy lands on his head. Oh god! And it just wasn't nice to watch.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's a real thing, and
it was a true story, right?
Yeah, it's a true story. And
do you think, because there was some controversy over it not being nominated for an Oscar, do you think it should have been? Or do you think Will Smith should have been?
I think it was definitely worthy of an Oscar nomination.
Right.
Like, it's one of his best performances I've seen. I know, like you said, his accent was a bit off, but but his performance was fantastic. And I've not seen any of the other I don't think I've seen any other films that got nominated for Best Actor.
Luckily, I have.
Yeah.
And that's what I'm going to be talking about in a minute.
Yeah,
but have you got closing thoughts about Concussion?
Yeah, well, anyway, the end of the film, basically, the NFL kind of sort of agrees to, admits that this is a problem, but they don't kind of take full responsibility for it or anything like that. And it's just a list of facts, and apparently it's about 30% of NFL players will still...
Really?
Or maybe it's a bigger percentage than that, I can't remember, but will still be affected by this and still have these problems. So it's a bit crazy to think that, but yeah. Just wrap it up there, I think.
Yeah?
Yeah.
But did you enjoy it?
I loved it. I thought it was great, yeah. Another good cinema experience for me as well.
Yeah, did you see it in the cinema? Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
And it's just these 3 cinema films just got my love back for going.
What are you going to see next?
What's out next? I don't know.
Are you going to see Batman Superman?
I will be watching it.
Yeah.
Not with any kind of anticipation or anything, but
I'm excited.
We'll see.
Have you seen that J.K. Simmons has been cast as Commissioner Gordon for the new Justice League film?
Really?
Yeah.
That'd be interesting.
Yeah. Alright. I think he'll do it well.
Yeah, he will do.
But that also means he's definitely not going to be back as J. Jonah Jameson for the new Spider-Man film.
Is that part of his contract?
I don't think so, but I don't think Marvel would want to sign him. I think they're out at quite similar times as well.
Are they?
Yeah.
I don't know. It won't make much of a difference, but...
Nah.
I heard Hugh Laurie might be up for it.
That would be an interesting
Which would
casting.
be very interesting.
Yeah. Sorry.
I thought that it's a good shout on... Yeah.
Yeah.
I'd like to see Hugh Laurie part of the MCU. That would make me happy.
Yes. Anyway, that was a bit of a divergence there, wasn't it? Back to Oscars. So, I tried to see a fair few of the Oscar-nominated films. Now, I got round to seeing The Revenant.
Yep.
Let me get the best...
We've talked about The Revenant.
We have talked about The Revenant. I've seen Spotlight, which is one of the films I'm going to talk about today. I've seen The Revenant. I've seen The Martian. Mad Max I've seen.
Was that nominated?
Yes.
Really?
And The Big Short.
Big Short. I've not seen that.
Yeah.
I think I've only seen Mad Max.
Really? Well, you've seen The Revenant as well, right?
No, I've not seen
Have you not seen that?
I didn't. No.
Interesting.
It's not my kind of thing.
Have you seen Bridge of Spies?
I've not.
Because that's Spielberg.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I fancy that.
So, I saw Spotlight recently in the cinema. I actually saw it on Valentine's Day, which is not a very Valentine's film. Do you know what Spotlight's about?
I have no idea what it's about.
So Spotlight was released earlier this year. It stars Mark Ruffalo and Rachel McAdams and Michael Keaton. And it's basically about the exposure of the priests' paedophilia by a newspaper in America. And it's about how they were investigating what was going on and trying to expose it, and how the church was effectively covering up everything that had happened.
Yeah.
It's quite a bleak film.
Yeah.
In a lot of ways, it reminded me of Zodiac. Have you seen Zodiac?
I've seen Zodiac.
It's very similar to that because it's a newspaper investigating a big crime. But I enjoyed it. I thought it was very good. Now, that won the Best Picture.
Yeah.
And as much as I don't know if I'd agree with that, I can understand why it won, because I think it's a very important film. One of the things I found interesting about it is that none of the actors in it actually sort of stand out. They really sit back and let the story do the talking.
Yeah.
Mark Ruffalo, for example, is really quite toned down. I really liked his performance in it. But it's a very good film. I'd recommend it, but I'd probably only recommend it if you're into that kind of thing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to convert anyone into being a fan of those like based on a true story type of films, if that's not your kind of thing. But I really enjoyed it, and I went into it expecting myself not to enjoy it, because that's usually not my kind of thing. But yeah, the Spotlight was pretty good.
Yeah.
And the other film that I saw, which I saw very recently actually, was The Big Short, which has Brad Pitt, Steve Carell, Christian Bale, a few quite big name actors. And what was interesting about it was that it was directed by Adam McKay. Now, he is famous for directing Anchorman and Talladega Nights.
I knew that, actually.
And those kind of films, so it was quite a surprise to see him tackling a subject like The Big Short. Now, The Big Short is about the financial crisis.
Yeah.
And it's about 3 different individuals who all contributed in some way to the financial crisis. Christian Bale, for example, plays a mathematician, really famous mathematician, who noticed that...
Did he do a degree in maths for this role?
He didn't, but he is a drummer in it as well, and he did take drum lessons to do it. But yeah, Christian Bale's very good in it. He's really, really intense. He's sort of crazy. You can really feel his intensity in the role. But Christian Bale plays this character who notices the way that things are going. Mortgages are going to break down. It's quite complicated, but it's explained in a fun way. The sort of science behind it. For example, it's explained by Margot Robbie. So Margot Robbie is in a bathtub playing Margot Robbie, explaining how these mortgages are going to break down, how they're built on bad mortgages, and that means that there's going to be a financial crash where people owe back more money than they can pay back.
Yeah.
Now, what Christian Bale does is he goes to all the banks and effectively bets money on the fact that this is going to happen before anyone else had any idea that this was a possibility. They thought the financial climate was stable and that the banks were getting loads of money, but the banks were just being so corrupt that they couldn't see past their own face, effectively. So Christian Bale, it's like, I think it's a couple of billion that he puts on the fact that the bank's going to break down. Now, for the banks, that's free money because they know, well, they think that everything's fine. So they're like, yep, fine, 2 billion, give it us, we'll see what happens. But he is right, and that's part of the reason that the financial crisis happens, is because these banks have to cash out all of this money to people who bet on the financial crisis happening. But it's quite confusing, but when you're in the moment watching it, it does make sense. Steve Carell plays someone who just overhears this happening. Ryan Gosling is in it, and he plays this character who explains the financial crisis to Steve Carell and says, if you give me all this money, I'll pay it back to you. Do a similar thing to what Christian Bale's doing. But yeah, The Big Short got nominated for Best Picture, and I can tell why, but it's so surprising that it's done by Adam McKay. It's filmed in this sort of semi-documentary style. As the characters don't speak to the camera, but the way it's filmed, you do feel like you're behind the character's back. I really enjoyed it. I'd check that out. It's quite a long film, as you can probably expect it to be. But if you want to watch something different and something that you're going to find engaging, even though the subject matter is really boring, check it out.
I fancy watching it, definitely.
It is really interesting, but I didn't expect it to be.
I can imagine.
But all the performances in that are really good. Brad Pitt plays a very strange character. He's helping these two kids to cash in on this financial crisis. But Brad Pitt was like a famous guy on Wall Street or whatever it was, and so he knows how these trends happen. And he checks out all the maths and finds out that it's working. There's a lot of fourth wall breaking, and characters turning to the camera and saying, actually, it didn't really happen like this, but we're going to do it this way because it makes the plot a bit easier. So the two kids find this piece of paper on a table that outlines the plot of the film effectively and says, look, this is going to happen. And they're like, this isn't what happened, which is quite good because it's quite refreshing. But yeah, that's what I've watched.
Nice.
There are other things that I've watched, but I'll probably save them till next time. For example, I do want to talk about Deadpool.
Yes.
But I feel like that's a film that we should both talk about.
Yeah, I need to watch it.
Yeah. So I think you should check that out.
Just as you mentioned, the fourth wall breaking.
Yes, exactly.
I just want to talk about how I want to talk about House of Cards next time.
Yeah, have you...
Season 4. I've watched
season 4.
5 or 6 episodes so far.
I have watched 0 episodes.
You've watched 0?
Yes. So I believe I'm in for a treat. I'm very excited for it. I've heard that the 4th episode in particular is a big episode.
Big episode. Probably the biggest.
Right. Well, I'm
for a while.
I'm looking forward to it. I love House of Cards. I adore it.
I love House of Cards.
I'm hoping the 3rd season for me wasn't the strongest.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping that this one picks it up, and from the reviews that I've read, it seems like it is.
Yeah. So far,
so good.
It's not too much more better than Bad English, but
it's not too much more better.
It's not greatly improved yet.
Yeah.
But there are things that have happened that are a bit interesting.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking forward to the latter half of the series.
Yeah.
Plays out.
Well, as with House of Cards, it always builds it up, builds it up, and builds it up.
I'm about halfway through a few TV shows at the minute, so
yeah. We've focused on films this week, but I think we should maybe focus on TV next time. As much as I've not watched all that much TV recently, there are some programs that I'm going to watch that I'm going to check out.
I took like a massive break of watching TV programs, but now I feel like everything's great again, which is what happens.
There are 2 big programs that I'm watching at the moment, which are probably the 2 that I'll talk about.
Yeah.
And that's the People versus O.J. Simpson.
Oh yeah, David Schwimmer.
David Schwimmer.
Is that on BBC? That
it's on BBC. Yeah. It's actually part of it's called American Crime Story.
Yeah.
And it's basically the guys who did American Horror Story, focusing on crime programs.
I think I heard about that actually.
Yeah, it's very good. If you get the chance to watch that, check that out. And the other one that I'm watching is The Night Manager.
Yes, me too.
Which is also on BBC.
Based on a book as well, isn't it?
Based on a book by an author that I really like called John Le Carre, who wrote Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy.
I might check the book out of that. But yeah, I mean,
we'll talk about that next time as well.
It's
strange.
It is strange.
Yeah,
I can't really. Just everything about it is a bit strange.
I've not watched the latest episode actually. There was one on Sunday, wasn't there?
Episode 3's out, isn't it?
Yeah,
I've watched the first 2.
I've only watched the first 2 as well. Anyway, have we got any closing remarks?
Comments. Yeah. Make sure you check out Josh's Just Giving page if you
can get the chance.
If we've got it open, it's still open and things.
If not, just message him saying well done.
Yeah, be nice.
Yeah, that'd be nice for him. But yeah, hopefully we'll be back in action after this little break that we've had.
Like the Looney Tunes.
Yes, very good film, excellent film. Yeah, hopefully we'll be picking things up again.
Yeah, we need to, but my schedule is packed,
erratic at best.
It is.
Yeah, but we'll figure something out.
We will do.
Well, we will work this out so we have a bit of a better schedule. But hopefully I can get this edited and up today.
That'll be good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are you doing in the next couple of weeks, Craig?
Couple of weeks.
Yeah.
I don't know.
No.
Nothing too exciting. I don't think. I don't think so.
I'm going to London this weekend.
Where are you going? What are you doing?
I'm going to visit my friend.
Nice.
Yeah, we're just gonna hang out in London. He lives near Finsbury Park. There's a few bars near there that we want to check out.
Sounds very good.
Yes.
I've not been to London since September.
Really?
I need to go again.
Yep. So that's all I'm doing.
What am I doing? I don't know.
But I'm going to download some films or programs or something to watch on my train down.
Yeah, good idea.
Yeah.
I'm just going to read a lot.
Yeah, I'm going to finish Haunted. I'm going to finish The Rats.
The Rats, yeah. I'm reading the versions of Us at the moment, which is a bit contemporary. It's good.
Well, we'll save that.
Yeah.
Save that for next time. Okay. Well, I think that just about wraps it up.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to have fun editing this because there's going to be some awful bits in it.
There will be. But it'd be worth it.
Yep. It better be. Right. See you in a bit.
See you later.